YouTube. Wando here with another video. Hey man, we on that gaming side of things. We got the biggest game releases of March 2024. You know, it's the first of the month. So we about to see what's really popping. I ain't gonna lie, games been kinda lately. So we gotta see what's some of the biggest games coming and if I'm gonna get them or not. Feel me? I think this is all consoles, by the way. So I'm gonna give y'all my input and go from there. Before we get into this though, make sure y'all subscribe, comment, and like the video. Let's jump straight into it.
It's March, unless we posted this video a little bit early, in which case it's probably still February. But either way, March 2024 is a period of time that will happen at some point. And when it does happen, a bunch of video games are probably going to come out during that time period. These are their stories. And by stories, I mean release dates and brief synopses. As always, a friendly reminder that we do our very best to be as comprehensive and accurate as possible when making these videos every month, but mistakes and omissions do occasionally.
It came from IGN, bro. Y'all know that channel, that gaming channel. We on the gaming side of things.
It happened. Last month, I started the video by saying it was February, which eventually became true, but not when we published the video in late January, as a bunch of you little smartasses were quick to point out. Meanwhile, some more of you slightly larger smartasses pointed out that we forgot Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden, which is a narrative action RPG set in fantastical ye old colonial times, which was received pretty well when it dropped on February 13th for new gen and PC. One guy said we forgot about banisters, and I think he either meant banishers or he's a building inspector, in which case last month's video was probably not up to code. Hope nobody got hurt. Anyway, here's what's coming out in March, a month that will at some point happen. On the 1st on Xbox Series and PC, there's Captain Velvet Meteor, the Jump Plus dimension, which looks like a tactical adventure game that somehow intersects with characters from the Shonen Jump manga.
I see they actually kind of expanding on these type of games though. This remind me of Plants vs. Guardians for real, but just like a more PC version for real. Like they trying to expand and come out with a few more games like this. It's not my cup of tea, me personally, but
magazine that hit Switch last year, by which I mean 2022 because I still don't know what year it is.
What year is it?
Still in the first on new gen and PC, there's the Mobius Machine, which is a neat looking puzzle platformer starring a chunky little spaceman who kind of reminds me of Tom, the robot who hosted Toonami on Cartoon Network.
What's that one mobile game called that I used to play like this? I think it's called Jets, bro. I used to play as a kid all the time.
A million years ago. Remember, Tom? Go take some ibuprofen because you're probably old. On March 4th, the Thaumaturge hits PC, and I think this is the third time I've said this game is coming out in one of these videos, but it keeps getting delayed. It's a tactical RPG set in turn-of-the-century Warsaw that has you summoning demons and making morally gray decisions, so sort of like a more depressing, historically accurate Persona. Sure, why not? On March 5th, Expeditions, a Mud Runner game, hits everything, which is a more exploration-based spin on the truck sim. It's either going to be like Death Stranding, except with a truck instead of Norman Reedus, or given the variety of objectives, a slightly more arcadey, playful alternative to SnowRunner simulation, like Forza Horizon.
Why is it not on the phone?
Compared to Motorsport. Either way,
like
sign me the truck up, because I want to do winch stuff.
Expeditions.
Meanwhile, if you and 3 friends would like to be terrified...
Oh, I ain't gonna lie, we gotta get this one. You feel me? I played Outlast on my channel. This is like probably one of the first few videos I posted. Outlast is a great game. Now, me personally, I think Outlast is gonna gain off this game. They're gonna have a big game because now you can play with your friends on a scary game. Yeah, that's lit, bro. I approve of that. This is what I'm talking about. If me and my friends really want this, we gonna get it and we gonna try it out. That's my cup
together.
of tea.
The Outlast Trials lets you squad up for some cooperative survival horror, and that's a prequel to the last 2 Outlast games, and that's arriving on early access on Steam, and also coming to all the Xboxes and the PlayStations. If you'd prefer to get creeped out all by your lonesome, a day later, Revile comes to everything but Switch, which is a first-person psychological horror that'll have you solving plenty of puzzles and maybe getting chased.
Ooh, first person. Ooh. It's Outlast was scary, and that was in first person, so I can imagine this. Like, just look at it. First person, you really locked into the game? Yeah, no, I can't go through that again. That scene, it look good though.
By a big puppet, looks creepy. If you'd like some survival without the horror, assuming you're not scared of bears and cold weather and other terrifying things from Mother Nature, there's also Winter Survival, which looks kind of like a first-person Gary Paulson novel simulator, but you have more than just a hatchet, and you don't have to compete in the Iditarod. That hits Steam early access on the 6th. On the 7th, As Dusk Falls drops onto PS4 and PS5, and this is that narrative adventure game that looks like it's running on the Photoshop oil paint filter engine and was formerly an Xbox console exclusive thanks to...
Wait a minute. They coming a little different on this one. Wait a minute. Why it look like that? I don't think I seen played a game like this. And it was an Xbox exclusive at first. So you know they expanded, right, for a reason.
The Xbox Game Studios co-publishing it. Aside from my wisecracks about the art style, this was received pretty well, so it's good to see it getting a wider release on other platforms.
That actually looked good.
Still on the 7th, MetaQuest and PC VR get The Pirate Queen, a forgotten legend which gives you an immersive history lesson about Shang-Chi, who did her fair share of plundering in the South China Sea in the 19th century, and most recently
it hurt my eyes, bro. I don't know if it's just me personally, but I've been a gamer all my life, and when people complain about the screen, it doesn't bother me none. But putting that VR right to your eyeballs is kind of crazy to me, bro. Like, you really got to get it. That really take time to get used to. I've tried it. They got some pretty good fun games on there, but I just can't get with it.
R flag means death. For any PC players feeling like they don't have enough isometric fantasy stuff to click on in a turn-based fashion, well, good news, because Zoria Age of Shattering is here to let you do exactly that while you explore the whimsical titular realm of Zoria and do all sorts of tactical squad-based stuff along the way. Speaking of RPGs in fantasy settings, on the 8th, Vanillaware is back with Unicorn Overlord, which sounds like a cannabis strain, but it is in fact a dank hybrid of tactical combat, overworld exploration, and the studio's trademark painterly aesthetic. That's on both PlayStations, Xbox Series, and Switch. That same day, WWE 2K24 throws its hat, or maybe its entire body, or maybe somebody else back into the ring. As you'd expect, it features all your favorite superstars.
Bro, they dropping WWE like this. Ever since they partnered up with I'm me personally, bro, because I played WWE games, bro, and it used to be so fun. Me and my friends on Xbox used to be going crazy. But I don't know if it's just me, but when 2K took over in WWE, bro, it just kind of went like this, bro. And I'm a fan of 2K. Don't get me wrong, bro. NBA 2K, I cop it every year. But like this, bro, I just can't. I don't know, bro. It's not as good as it once was. And everybody that played WWE know the old classics was the bang.
Stars, and probably a few that you hate, though there are also some noticeable omissions due to complicated real-world political reasons. But hey, on the bright side, hot on the heels of his appearances as a singing manta ray in TMNT Mutant Mayhem, and as a member of the Zodiac Council in J-Lo's musical autobiopic, Post Malone will also be playable as part of the season pass for reasons that remain unclear to me. That's on everything but Switch. Talk about post-launch content. On March 12th, Passing By a Tailwind Journey brings some quaint 2D puzzle platforming among the clouds to Nintendo Switch and PC. If you'd rather blast some Rebel and or Imperial scum in a city among the clouds, you can do so high above the planet Bespin and on a slew of other iconic maps.
Wait, what? Hey, this better be free though. I ain't getting it. I fuck with Star Wars, not gonna lie.
In the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, which is exactly what it sounds like, and it's coming to everything. If you know what a ZX Spectrum is, you might have heard of Jeff Minter, and even if you don't understand a word I just said, you can learn about both those subjects in Llama Soft, the Jeff Minter story, which is both an interactive documentary on the prolific British game designer, but also a collection of 42 psychedelic games spanning his career. That's on everything. On March 14th, also on everything, is Highwater, which will have you exploring an isometric, waterlogged post-apocalypse and engaging in some tactical turn-based puzzle combat. If waiting your turn sounds boring and you'd rather just flail around wildly and hit people in the face with improvised melee weapons in real time, Paint the Town Red VR turns the hit slapstick voxel-based first-person brawler into a fully immersive experience that will probably result in a few broken lamps and maybe some real-world injuries. That's on PSVR 2, MetaQuest, and PC on the 14th. On the 15th, Outcast: A New Beginning hits new gen and PC. The original Outcast has the claim to fame of being one of the first 3D open worlds, even predating GTA 3.
Wait a minute. 3D open world. Wait a minute. How many people on this? If you give me at least 100 people on the map, like GTA, this might be a banger. I haven't really seen. Let me see the gameplay, but I'm predicting this might be a hidden gem for real. You feel me? The last game I seen something like this was Anthem for real, and Anthem, it was like this literally. It had potential, it went down, but this looks. I'm predicting. I'm gonna approve of this. I'm predicting. Let's get it.
By a couple of years. The Outcast franchise, if you can even call it that, hasn't gotten a new installment in 25 years, aside from a 2017 remake. So it'll be interesting to see how this one is received. That's on PC.
Bro, please don't let us down, bro. This looks smooth for a game. This is what you call a game, bro. Open world. Give me 200 people on the map. Y'all can do it. It's time to evolve with this multiplayer and come on, bro. This is what we want.
If you are constantly pissed off that Harvest Moon doesn't have mechs or that MechWarrior doesn't have farming, well, you should probably talk to a professional about that. But also, I have great news. Lightyear Frontier is the best of both worlds, letting you farm rutabagas and kumquats from the comfort of a giant robot suit. That's on Xbox Series and PC. If you'd prefer being in the outfield to being out in the field, MLB The Show 24 drops that day as well, letting you do baseball stuff to your heart's content on your console of choice. And if you're constantly pissed off at the idea of a former PlayStation exclusive series going multi-platform, that's also worth talking to a professional about.
That's
but
smooth.
if it's any
I don't really mess with baseball though, but that looks
consolation, the rhythm-based action game Hi-Fi Rush is also coming to PS5 that day as well. This is another Xbox-published former console exclusive that is now able to reach a wider audience, which is great, if you ask me. I don't know, maybe that's a controversial opinion, that it's good if more people can play games, like if the game can be played by more people. That means that more people, just statistically speaking, are having fun, assuming it's a fun game, which Hi-Fi Rush is fun, so I don't know. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't know. What kind of person doesn't want other people to have fun?
Nothing for you.
Anyway, by March 20th, we'll be on the sunny side of daylight savings, but if you need some solitary gloom, Alone in the Dark is finally hitting PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. If you haven't been keeping track, this is a reimagining of the survival horror classic that returns to the classic creepy Southern Gothic mansion from the first game, but we'll be telling—
I like the storyline on these type of games. Single player, I ain't really got to single player yet, but these storylines be nice.
an all-new tale starring TV's David Harbour and Jodie Comer. On March 21st, Horizon Forbidden West Complete Edition hits PC, which is great for PC players who want to explore a big, huge, beautiful open world, but hopefully also means we get some weird-ass PC mods that replace the robot dinosaurs with Thomas the Tank Engines. It replaces Aloy with Waluigi or Bart Simpson or whatever. It replaces all of her dialogue about climbing stuff and picking up cups with Macho Man Randy Savage quotes. Oh, yeah!
I want some fried sugar. I want to go on the yard work simulator.
Speaking of Bart Simpson, if you'd like to recreate a classic Simpsons gag, you can do so in Lawn Mowing Simulator VR on the Quest. Why do real yard work when you can just do fake yard work with a thing on your head? Because video games are fun. March 22nd is undoubtedly the biggest—
I don't know. I don't know whoever would do that, bro. I ain't
game release day of the month, and we've got a trio of major games dropping. For starters, there's Dragon's Dogma 2, the long-awaited sequel to Capcom's criminally underrated 2013 open-world action RPG, which hits new gen and PC. From what we've seen, this one doesn't reinvent the wheel compared to the original, but it looks extra slick because it's now in the RE engine. You'll still be wrangling a posse of AI-controlled companions called pawns, who shout weird stuff at odd times, and climbing on big monsters. This time around, though, it sounds like they're leaning even more into the Shadow of the Colossus influence, with even bigger beasts and bad guys waiting to clobber you because you're trying to climb on them. For anybody who's counting down the days till Elden Ring's DLC drops, this could be a good way to pass the time. Then again, depending on your playstyle, you might do better off with Rise of the Ronin, which is another big fat open world action RPG from Team Ninja, the folks behind the Neo games and Wo Long Fallen Dynasty. So, you know, if you like the idea of wandering off—
Wait, since when do they have a guns in this type of area, bro? I've never seen them. I've never in my life seen them with guns.
in any direction in search of ass kicking, this will also likely deliver. And of course, if you don't like the idea of having your ass kicked at all, Princess Peach Showtime looks like a nice laid-back adventure for players of all ages, giving Mario's main squeeze the spotlight for a change and letting her don a variety of cool costumes that give her cool powers.
You know, she is technically a main character, bro. And for her to have her own game, that's a plus for Nintendo.
Because it's a video game.
I always see her
Ever wish
in
that
every
Peach would
Nintendo
ditch the
Mario
princess
game,
crap to
always.
master the deadly arts of ninjutsu?
Nice.
Well, you're in luck. That is on Nintendo Switch,
Especially for
because
the
of
women
course
gamers
it is.
that's out there, that's nice.
And a day later, if you've ever wanted to experience the existential terrors of Wisconsin, you can do exactly that in Madison VR, which is now on PSVR 2. I'm just kidding. To my knowledge, this game has nothing to do with the capital of the Badger State, but everything else I said is probably accurate. On March 25th, Sentry will be leaving early access on PC. This is an indie FPS where you've got to defend your spaceship from, wait for it, aliens. By, yup, you guessed it, shooting them in the face. But you can also lay
Last indie game I used to play indie games on 360 all the time. It was actually fun.
traps and set up turrets and use environmental destruction against them. Get out of here, you aliens. Well, it's technically a sequel to The Stick of Truth and The Fractured Butthole. South Park Snow Day looks to be a very different experience, swapping the 2D turn-based single—
Wait, I ain't never played the South Park. My friend Cole asked me to play South Park, but it was like more like a defending game. It wasn't nothing like this though. I could probably rock with this.
player RPG for some real-time multiplayer action in 3D that is on new gen, Switch, and PC. On the 28th, Pepper Grinder comes to Switch and PC, which is a cute Devolver-published indie platformer whose piquant pirate protagonist uses her grinder arm to burrow through the levels, which adds some depth to the gameplay when you really drill down. Can you dig it? And on that note, I think we did it. Those are March 2024's biggest—
Okay, that wasn't too bad, bro. That wasn't too bad. I think the The only game that I would probably the Outlast and maybe I'm trying to see Outlast and Outcast. I feel like those are gonna be the biggest games of March, bro. For a reason. Outlast has been one of the best scary games out. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It's a classic, and now they introducing multiplayer to their scary game. That's a plus. I approve of that. Outcast, y'all got potential. Don't let us down, bro. When you say open world, that's what we want to see. You feel me? Put 100 to 150 people. I know y'all can do it. Warzone has done it. It's not open world, but you matchmake with a lot of people. You feel me? Let's get to it. But if y'all just video as much as I did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. Comment what y'all want to see. Oh, we out.